Hare Krishna, Mahabharata for children. In the last chapter, we saw King Santanu got married to Satyavati and they had two boys named Chitrangada and Vichitravirya. Today, let us move on to the next chapter. Chapter 2, The Birth of Princess. Chitrangada, the elder son of Satyavati, ascended the throne of Hastinapur after the death of his father, King Santanu. A few years later, he died childless in a battle, and his brother Vichitravirya ascended the throne. As Vichitravirya was too young to rule, Bhishma governed the kingdom for him. When Vichitravirya came of age, Bhishma won the three daughters of the king of Kashi as brides for him. Bhishma defeated all the other suitors by his superior skill at arms. The three princes of Kashi were Amba, Ambika, and Ambalika. Before marrying Vichitravirya, Amba revealed her love for Salva, the king of Saubala. In her mind, she had already chosen him as her husband. Even though Bhishma had defeated King Salva in battle, he arranged for Amba to go to him with due respect and honor. Still smarting from his defeat at Bhishma's hand, King Salva refused to accept her, and she returned to Hastinapur feeling baffled and humiliated. Amba entreated Bhishma to marry her, but he was bound by his vow of celibacy. Nor did Vichitravirya marry her, as she had already given a heart to somebody else. Amba's life was blighted for no fault of hers. All the love in her heart turned into fears and hatred for Bhishma. She held him responsible for ruining her life and appealed to all the renowned warriors of the land to fight Bhishma and avenge her, but no one dared to do so. Even sage Parashurama, Bhishma's guru and a great warrior himself, could not defeat his pupil in a single combat. Frustrated at every turn, Amba turned to the gods. She practiced rigid austerities until Lord Shiva granted her a boon that in her next birth she would be the cause of Bhishma's death. Years later, this came to pass. Meanwhile, tragedy struck Hastinapur. Young King Vichitravirya died suddenly, leaving no heir to the throne. Traditionally, a son born to a noble Brahmin could revive a noble line threatened with extinction. With this in mind, Queen Satyavati, the widow mother of Vichitravirya, approached Vyasa, the great rishi. Vyasa was born to Satyavati and sage Parashara before she had met King Santanu. In obedience to his mother's wishes, Vyasa fathered two sons that would be the heir to the throne of Hastinapur. The elder son, Dhritarashtra, was born to Queen Ambika, and the younger son, Pandu, was born to Queen Ambalika. Vyasa fathered another son, Vidura, who surpassed his brothers in wisdom, statesmanship, and the practice of dharma. Dhritarashtra was born blind, so Pandu ruled the kingdom in his name and with assistance of Bhishma and Vidura. When the prince reached adulthood, Bhishma arranged the marriage of Dhritarashtra with Gandhari, the virtuous daughter of the king Gandhara. Not only did Gandhari willingly accept a blind husband, but she also bound her own eyes with a piece of cloth, forsaking the precious gift of sight that destiny had denied for her husband. Pandu married Kunti, the beautiful daughter of King Sura of the Yadavas. Following the prevailing custom, he took a second wife, Madri, sister of the king of Madra. Pandu was a great warrior. He established the supremacy of Hastinapur over all the kingdoms of Bharata, and the future looked bright. But once again, misfortune was to strike the Kuru race. Once, while hunting, Pandu shot a deer that was sporting in the forest with its companion. King Pandu was startled when he heard the deer. He had shouted utter a chilling human cry. In reality, the loving pair was a rishi and his wife. "O king, I curse you for this thoughtless and cruel deed," said the dying rishi. "You will never know the joys of fatherhood. You will die like me the moment you enjoy the warm embrace of your wife." Heartbroken at this sudden calamity, Pandu lost all interest in his kingdom, as now he could never give an heir to the Kuru dynasty. Renouncing all worldly possession, he retreated to the forest with Kunti and Madri, leaving his blind brother Dhritarashtra as king. The curse of the dying Rishi continued to torment Pandu. He strongly desired sons, and only Kunti had the power to relieve him of his suffering. When she was still a maiden, sage Durvasa had spent a year as a guest in her father's palace. Kunti had served him with great care. Pleased by her devotion, the sage gave her a divine mantra by which she could invoke any god to bless her with a son equal to him in glory. Pandu's torment vanished when he learned about Kunti's boon. Upon hearing this, Pandu was overjoyed. He asked Kunti to invoke Dharmaraja, great lord of Dharma, who blessed her with a son destined to win fame throughout the world for his righteous and noble conduct. He was named Yudhishthira. A year later, Kunti became mother of another son, the strong and steady Bhima, born of the mighty wind god Vayu. Indradeva, the lord of the heavens, blessed Kunti with the third son Arjuna, destined to conquer the world and be invincible in war. At Pandu's request, Kunti taught the divine mantra to Madri, for she too wanted to have children. By the grace of the twin gods, the Ashwin Kumars, Madri was blessed with beautiful twin sons Nakula and Sahadeva. They grew up to be brave, handsome, and virtuous. The day that Kunti's second son Bhima was born, Queen Gandhari gave birth to a boy named Duryodhana in Hastinapur. Evil omens attended this birth and prophesied widespread death and destruction. Sacrifice this child, my brother, wise Vidura counseled Dhritarashtra. Save your kingdom from the carnage that will surely follow if he lives. But Dhritarashtra could not do so. Duryodhana was the eldest of 100 sons and a daughter born to blind and doting king. Whereas in the forest, Pandu was elated to see the growth of his 5 godlike sons. When Yudhishthira was barely 16, as the curse of the sage decreed, Pandu died in the arms of his second wife Madri. Entrusting her twin son Nakula and Sahadeva to the care of Kunti, Madri burned herself on Pandu's funeral pyre. The rishis of the forest escorted the grieving Kunti and her 5 sons to Hastinapur. Let us wind up for today, and tomorrow we'll see Duryodhana's evil plan. Jai Shri Krishna.